Hey, what's up, people? It's Matt from Music Producer School. Just running a little test tonight because we're going to start some lessons next week. So I thought I'd just hop on real quick and make sure my Ableton is still working correctly with this thing. If you're here, be sure to say hello. We're going to get started next week with some real lessons, but I just wanted to get on here tonight and kind of play around a little bit. It's Friday, and I hope you're having a good week so far. Just going to play around a little bit in Ableton tonight. If you got a comment or you want to ask me a question, feel free. And let's see what we could do here. I was playing with this sample earlier. I think we need to slow this down a little bit. Yeah, let's do something hip hop. So yeah, if you guys or girls have any questions about anything, what we're going to be covering at Music Producer School, feel free to drop me a question. I'm just gonna play around with this sample for a little bit. I wanted to make sure all of my sounds are working because I work in different programs all the time. We're gonna be doing not just Ableton, we're gonna be doing Logic, Pro Tools, Studio One. I'm also gonna cover some video editing in Final Cut and maybe even some graphic type stuff because, as you know, music is not just about the music. You gotta market too. Alright, I think I want that piece right there. And so right here, if you're familiar with Ableton, I'm gonna play this sample and I'm gonna tap the tempo while it's playing. So this is more like a oh, also I'm going to cover DJing in this. DJing is an indispensable tool of the music producer. So we're going to warp this guy, and let's bring this here. That's cool. Let's throw some drums on here. I'm just going to test this real quick tonight. If you're here watching, this is Matt from Music Producer School. Put me up here a little bit. There we go. Be sure to say hello in the comments if you're watching. I believe I am on restreaming right now. I'm on... Okay, we got some folks on YouTube right now. So yeah, I usually just look at the Facebook stuff, but I'm going to try and get on all of these. So if you're on YouTube and you want to leave me a comment, do that for me. And we're gonna get started with some real stuff next week. I'll give you a little more info about who I am. But until then, let's put some drums on this thing here. Oh, and hey, in the comments, if you're watching, let me know what kind of stuff you'd like to learn. I'll tell you really quickly. So I've been producing for, about 15 years now. I've had multiple songs on the charts. I'm going to get into more of that later on, as far as, you know, some of my history and who I am. But I thought at first it would just be kind of fun to first of all make sure all this stuff works, because it's been a minute since I've been in Ableton. And let me know what kind of stuff you want to learn, because I've been doing it for a long time and I'd love to help. Chapter Games, thanks for the comment, my friend. Yeah, music theory. I tell you what, I'm glad you said that because as a producer, so I've been playing music my whole life. Um, but unfortunately, the way I started, I kind of had a thing against music theory. So let me, since we have a question here, let me answer your question here. So, yeah, music theory. I wish personally I would have learned it earlier and sooner. But it took me a while to get it through my head that it was a good thing because I used to think that music theory was going to make you like, think inside of the box and you wouldn't be creative. And it's actually the opposite. In my experience, the more music theory that you learn, the more creative you can be. So I'll tell you what, Chapter Games, since you asked the first question here, I'll give you, well, let me ask you first. Do you know about I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. It's like a little trick that a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but some producers use. Do you know about the C major scale on the piano? I'm going to also, when we do these lessons starting next week, I'm going to have my piano hooked up and you'll be able to see like an overhead view of what I'm doing on the keyboard, and it'll be a lot easier to understand. But Chapter Games, let me know if you know about the C major trick on the keyboard, and I'll wait for your comment. And if not, I'll show it to you, and that'll get you jump started with music theory. And it's actually pretty cool because it'll allow you to play a lot more things pretty much instantly. Also, if anybody comes after the fact or if you're just logging on, I have some stuff that I've made actually to help out with music theory. It makes it a lot easier for you to play scales and chords and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into all that tonight. I just wanted to get on briefly and just kind of say hello since it's Friday. But yeah, Chapter Games, let me know if you know about the C major trick on... You do not. Okay, I just got your comment. Yeah, you guys, the comments, they're delayed, as you probably know. So, okay, Chapter Games, let me blow your mind really quick. So, actually, you know what? I think I might be able to pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up on here. Let me see if my addictive keys works. If not, I'm just going to show you on the regular keyboard. Let's pick the Studio Grand. Let's go to... Okay, I do have Studio Grand. So, Chapter Games, I'm going to show you... Let me see if I can show you on my keyboard here. I like this keyboard. It's old, but it's cool because you can just flip it on and it's got sound right here. So, Chapter Games, what you want to do first is find the C key, which I'm sure you could probably find that. It's the one right by the two black keys here. So if you start on C and you just go up all the white keys, that's a C scale right there. So if you're playing a song and it's in the key of C, C major, which I'll get into a little bit more as well, but you can basically play any of these white keys and it's going to sound good. Now, that's for a major song. So let me quickly show you the difference between major and minor if you don't know that. And let me put a little piano sound on here. Okay, so C major sounds like this. And I always explain it to people that the major is kind of like the happy version of a chord. And then when you want to do the minor, you take this middle note right here and you drop it down. It's called a half step to the black key, and then it becomes kind of sad. So you got major, happy, and then sad, minor. So you can kind of start there. and like I said, in the key of C, you can just always kind of stick to those white keys, and that will always sound good. Now, not every song is in the key of C. So what I'm gonna do, and actually I'll probably do a lesson on this next week because that's a good place to start with music theory. If you know how to play all of the white keys in the key of C, what you can actually do is transpose your keyboard. And what that will allow you to do is play in any key. So if you're playing all the white keys for C major, and let me show you, I don't have FL Studio pulled up right now, but I will be doing some FL Studio stuff. But let me show you what I mean here in Ableton. It'll be it'll make a little more sense. So let me actually, I'll go ahead and do it with this track that I'm kind of messing around with right here. Give me 1 second. Let me throw a drum beat on here, and then I'll show you. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do the piano first. So let me see what key this is in first of all. Okay, so this one actually works good. Check this out. I'm gonna pull up. Let me see if I can get something that'll show the keyboard on here. I actually do have one that I think works a little bit better than this, but let me see if I can get just... No, I don't want to buy the modern upright. I just want the Studio Grand. There we go. So, okay, this sample that I'm working on here is actually in A minor. And again, I'm going to get more into this. This is part of the stuff that we're going to be covering starting next week in Producer School. So one thing to know is that you have major keys, like the C major key that I just played for you. And then you also have a minor key that corresponds to that same major key. So I'll teach more of this later, but just know that right now, C major, the one that I just played for you, is the complementary, it's called, key of A minor, which is what this sample is in. So listen to this sample real quick. So that first chord they're playing is an A minor. And like I said, A minor goes with C major. It's the same notes in both scales. It's just they start at a different place. So if I'm playing C major, that's starting from C, but it's all the white keys. This sample is in A minor, and A minor is also all the white keys. It's the same as C, except you start from A. So if I play any of these notes from A to A on the white keys with this sample, it should sound pretty decent. So I'm not sure how well that could work, that you can hear that right now. But basically, it's the same key. It's the same notes in both keys, C major and A minor, same thing. So that's a quick way to get started, because what you can do, and I'll show you how to do this in FL Studio if you remind me next week when I get on here live. But in other words, what I can do now is I can basically just play any of those white keys, and it'll sound pretty cool, like a cool melody. Let me see. I had a piano in here that showed off the keys a little bit better, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It's escaping me for the moment. But let me throw these drums on here real quick. Let's get, I like that a little better. So I'm just going to throw these kicks in here really quickly. And I need to tighten the sample up a little bit. I hear that sitar is off just a tad. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So, yeah, you guys, once again, my name is Matt. I'm going to be teaching here at Producer School. We're going to get really started next week with some stuff, but I wanted to just get on and kind of say hello and introduce myself and wish you guys a good Friday. Let's see what this sounds like. Alright, and let me get a little hat thing. I don't want to sit here and bore you with a bunch of crazy stuff tonight. Something like that will probably work. Alright. Get this buffer up here. So, chapter games. I'm about to show you what I mean with the scale thing now. So I have my keyboard, my keys set up. I'm gonna loop this, and I'm gonna throw a MIDI track on here. And again, the idea is if I do anything on the white keys, because like I explained how C major and A minor are the same thing, it's just all the white keys. So now if I do anything just on all the white keys, I should be good. So I'm gonna show you actually another little trick. I don't have my MIDI keyboard hooked up tonight because I didn't plan on getting into too deep of stuff tonight. But let me show you a quick little trick that's pretty cool, and it kind of goes along with this. I'm just using my Apple keyboard right now. So what I'm gonna do, so you see I just from my regular keyboard I can play some notes, but it's not, you know, like playing a piano or anything. So one cool thing you can do if you're trying to come up with a melody is just figure out what key the song is in. So I know this one's in A. So I think that's my A right there. Let's see. Yep, A. See how I had somebody ask a question. Dirk, this is Ableton. This is Ableton Live that I'm using, but I'm going to be covering all kinds of different DAWs, so don't worry. I'll be doing a bunch of different ones. Okay, so pick the key of the song, which I know this is an A minor, and then I'm just going to play the A key right here, and just play the one note of the key of the song, and just worry about the rhythm. So I'm going to let this play through once, and then I'm just going to tap out a rhythm that feels cool on just this one note, and watch how this works. All right, here we go. All right, cool. So I'm going to record that now. All right, doesn't sound like much yet. I'm going to quantize that. And then remember, because I told you we're in A minor, I can actually just, as long as I keep to these white notes right here, I'll be cool. So I have a good rhythm set up, and that's melody is a lot, it's mostly rhythm. So once you get a good rhythm going, I'm actually just going to start kind of placing these, and I'm just going to make sure that you see how it's hitting the white key right there. And then this one, I'm going to make sure it goes up to a white key. This one goes up to a white key. And then I'm just going to stick to the white keys. And then let me turn this up a little bit. Turn this piano up a little bit. And we want it to probably hit a little bit harder. And I'm going to throw like a little reverb and delay on here. Okay, and another thing I'm going to do for a melody, they usually like to be a little bit higher. So I have a shortcut in Ableton where I can hit Shift and the up arrow, and it's going to bring it up an octave. That sounds pretty decent. Let me dirty this up a little bit. All right, so already I can kind of hear like a little melody. I want to do that same note again. All right, now we're getting somewhere. And this is all just kind of throwing it on the white keys, and I'm just listening and seeing what sounds cool. I'm gonna go up a little higher here. See, I want to make sure I'm on these white notes. Let's see what this sounds like. And then Ableton actually allows me, I can preview the notes while I'm moving them. Again, I'm on the white note right there. We'll go high up here. And you see again, I'm just sticking to all these white notes. Move this up a little bit. And let me move this down. Move me down here. All right, so let's check this out. And then maybe we'll go to the higher octave here. And again, I'm just sticking to all these white notes. Now, remember, this is only going to work in the key of C major or A minor. But like I said, next week, I'm going to get a little more into how to determine all that stuff. All right, let's try this. So let's see what that sounds like with the rest of the beat. Okay, so that sounds decent. I would probably work on it a little bit more if I was working on this beat for real. But the piano sound that I'm using right there is kind of boring. So I would probably try and find me something a little bit cooler as far as like a lead sound to do my melody with. Let's see if I have any good lead stuff. Cool house organ. Let's see what this sounds like. Hopefully it doesn't make it worse. It's actually could be kind of cool. I've got a couple funky things going on in here. Let me see if I can simplify this sound a little bit. So I've got this pitch thing happening here. That's kind of cool. So, like I said, this is just kind of okay, Chapter Games. I'm just checking out your comment here. First started, how did you learn music theory? Got you music. I'll tell you what got me into music was Jimi Hendrix on the guitar. I started playing guitar first, and actually that's why I think I didn't learn music theory for quite a while, because playing the guitar, it's not as music theory focused as like when you play, when you start out playing piano, for example. So I kind of wish that I would have, again, learned music theory sooner. But yeah, I'm going to go over a lot of this stuff because music theory is, if you can learn music theory, it's going to open up a lot of doors for you. My background, I've worked with pretty much every genre of music, and knowing music theory is going to allow you to work with literally anybody, because you can go into the studio with anyone, anywhere, and as long as you know how to apply some of these steps and these principles of music theory, you'll be able to come up with some cool stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm just making this up on the fly, and I would probably work on this a little bit longer if I was actually trying to make it into a beat. But you can see how without any real music theory, I'm just, like I said, kind of choosing the white notes on the keyboard here, and it's starting to turn into a little something. So yeah, I could add a synth to this. So again, I can I'll show you one more quick little thing, and then I'm gonna wrap this one up. Let me check this out one more time and see what this sounds like. So I want to put one more little note in here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's cool for right now with that. So then I have something that is on my website. If you go to musicproducer.school, just type in musicproducer.school, and it'll bring you to my website here. And the thing that I'm about to use on here is called the MIDI chord bank. And the way, let me show you how it works. If you go to musicproducer.school, it'll bring you to my website. And if you go to MIDI tools and click on MIDI tools, it's called the MIDI chord bank. This is it right here. So I'll show you really quick what this does. So again, I know that we're in the key of A minor. So the way the MIDI chord bank works is I have it set up to where you can actually just go in and find the chords that you want to use. So I have another one called songwriter chords, which is another thing that I'm going to be releasing very soon. I may actually put it up next week. So the songwriter chords is actually even easier to use than the MIDI chord bank. The MIDI chord bank is basically like all of the chords. So if you want to just have like all of the chords that you can just drag and drop into your sessions, that's cool to have, and I'll go again into more detail on that later, probably next week. But the songwriter chords are cool because, again, if you know that you're in whatever key, so like I said, we're in A minor, so I'm going to go to the minor folder, and then I have A minor, A sharp minor, B minor, I have all the keys here. So you just click your A minor folder, and I can just pick any of these chords, and they're pretty much all going to work in this song. So let me pick this... let me pick this A minor 7, and let's try and do like a cool synth here, since you suggested putting a synth on there. Let's see if Serum has anything going on good tonight. Alright, so we're in the right key. Let me get... Let's maybe do like a pad. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm going to go back to my songwriter chords. So that was A minor. Let's go to an E minor 7 chord and see what that sounds like now. Let's do a C and then end up with a... Let's try this. So again, I'm just going into this A minor folder and I'm just kind of randomly picking these, but they should all pretty much work. So let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the delay on this guy sounds like it's a little bit long. So I'm gonna take the delay down a little bit, and then let's see if we can make this a little bit shorter. So I'm kind of liking just both of these. So I'm going to copy both of these. Alright, so I'm going to give you one last little fun thing here before I wrap this one up. I'm going to freeze this Serum track. And I'm gonna turn. So I just grabbed those MIDI files from my songwriter chords pack. I just threw them in there, and now I'm gonna flatten this into audio. So now I have all of these chords as audio, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut these off a little bit early. Let me see if I can get my my fades to show up. Well, my fades don't want to show up for some reason, but I'm going to then reverse. I'm going to reverse the second one. So that's always a fun little trick you can do, is do like a little reverse on your chords. Yeah, so that was cool. So now I'm just going to duplicate that. One last little thing I like to do a lot of times is I'll do like a little chop on the end, where I'll just chop off some notes like that. And actually that sounded kind of cool. I'll do that in both places on the ends. So that's the cool thing about putting stuff into audio as well, is you can do these chops, which usually sound pretty cool. So let's try that now. Yeah, that was pretty cool at the end there. So, all right, I think that's going to be it for today, you guys. Thank y'all for kicking it with me. I'll be back next week. I'm going to start doing live streams probably a couple times a week. And if you have any questions, the best place to reach me is probably either sending me a message on Facebook. Make sure you go and like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/the music producer school. Go over there, and if you have any more questions, you can send me a message there, and I'll let it pop up so you can see see what it looks like. Let me show you. There we go. So that's me right there, the Music Producer School. So if you have any questions, be sure to go over there. Make sure you like the page and send me a message, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And be on the lookout for some more lessons next week. This was just kind of a little test for me because I haven't been live in a while. But I'm going to be giving a lot more tips and doing a lot more stuff like this next week. So I'll try and make a post on Facebook as well when I plan on going live. So anyway, this is Matt. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good weekend, and I'm looking forward to doing some more of these with you. Thanks for joining me, and be sure to go like the Facebook page. I'll see you next time, and share this video if you want some people to start producing as well. Peace out.